Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's June 29th, 2017. Yesterday, June 28th, Google deleted my main YouTube channel, the Zachary K. Hubbard channel, and my blog, Free to Find Truth. Google owns YouTube and the blogging platform I use. I did petition Google to have my blog reinstated. My blog is back up for the time being. I've also petitioned for my YouTube channel to be put back up. No response yet on that. I'm hoping it'll come back. But for now, my backup channel still exists, Free to Find Truth. I'll link it in the description. I have nearly every single video saved here. There's a few videos that are missing. All the videos that I made with my phone where I would record my TV and give a quick blurb, most of my shorter videos, I never put those on my backup channel, so we lost all of those for the time being, unfortunately. If we get the main channel back, they can be recovered. Maybe somebody else out there downloaded them. If you did, feel free to upload them. All of my videos, I would never file a copyright strike. All of my videos are free to share. The entire thing, I make the work to get it out there. So the more people that are sharing, the more people are helping me out. But the backup channel's still up for the time being. I'm pretty sure it will be deleted very soon in time. But while it's still up, you're welcome to subscribe. The link is below. The reason this has happened is because of what went on earlier this month in June. At the time of the Bilderberg meeting, I put out a video. And I said, censorship is in the air. The Bilderberg meeting, the annual conference of banker tyrants, media tyrants, government tyrants. This year it was June 1st to June 4th. And out of their 10 bullet points, the 7th was doing something about online extremism. And then just weeks after that meeting's conclusion, Google promises a YouTube crackdown on online extremism. And I knew when this article came out, and I knew when the Bilderberg meeting happened, and I've been talking about this really going all the way back to 2015, that eventually this day would come where the powers that shouldn't be, who control these major corporations, they would start squelching the voices of the truth speakers. And true to form, slandering us with terms such as extremist. The only thing that is extreme is a person such as myself is extremely dangerous to the powers that shouldn't be. As you know, on the daily, I expose their false propaganda meant to scare people, their rigged sports games that waste people's time, energy, and money, and so much more. There's nothing else extreme about my channel. All of my points are rational, well supported. Sometimes I can cuss, but, adults cuss. So it doesn't matter about freedom of speech, you guys, because these are private companies. A private company does not need to ensure freedom of speech. And I said this all the way back in 2015. I said, being on a platform such as Google, uploading videos to their platform, they make the rules, they decide what gets to float and what not, and eventually the day came where they terminated the channel. So I'm not surprised at all, and that's why I've been saying since 2015 we need to figure out how to get this movement on the streets. We need to figure out how to organize in our communities, become a network that works together for the change we want to see. And that is still the mission here. That's going to be the mission. This just motivates me, to get that much better, get that much further ahead. And that's exactly what's going to come out of this. And don't worry, you guys. I have every single video minus the cell phone videos backed up. So the work won't be lost. I can always bring it back. But I'm not going to bring it back on Google's platforms because, they're just going to get rid of it. So we got to figure out the next best place. And what's unfortunate is these other websites that exist to stream videos, they're very slow. And as we know, we like things quick when we're on the internet. We don't want to wait for the website to load and the video to load and then to have all these latency issues. That's the problem with these other streaming services that I'm aware of. I'll investigate. I'll find out what else is out there. But the thing is, I really want to get away from online and get to people's communities. So again, you all know I'm working on the book. I'm finishing the book. I'm taking a lot of time because I'm being a perfectionist. I'm trying to make it the best read possible, well-written, fun, informative, quick. So it's taking time. I could rush it. I could do it in haste. It would probably still be a good book, but it's part of my nature, you know. I like to do things the right way. I want my first book that I've ever published to be impressive, you know. A good starting position, and then I want to improve from there. So anyhow, Google, online, it is truth censorship time. That is why it is the time for us to figure out a better way, a more impactful way. And this is why 9 days after this crackdown, my channel and blog were deleted. But again, I was able to petition Google and the blog was reinstated. So one more time, down below, going to link the backup channel, Free to Find Truth. You can still access almost all of my videos. In case you guys missed what happened, also the lead up to this, I got a strike last week for a video on the Roanoke, Virginia shooting from August of 2015. Last week they gave me a strike for that, so then I couldn't upload any more videos on my main channel. That's why on my backup channel there's this video about Johnny Depp's remarks and the assassination, but it never made it to my main channel because I already had the strike preventing me from any further uploads. Then what happened is yesterday, June 28th, YouTube struck me for another video from 2015, Sandy Hook video, and the best one I ever made, and I made it family friendly. There's not a cuss word in it. You know, you could show it to your child. The entire video exposes the false flag that was Sandy Hook and the very clear deception in the media. Never got a warning about this video, but more than 2 years later, after it being up for all that time, YouTube takes down my whole channel with over 2,500 videos. So just think about how disrespectful that is. I mean, if they had a problem with this video back then, they should have let it be known so I didn't go on to, you know, essentially build up the same type of videos that they ended up taking the channel down for. Inconsistency. Also, you guys want to know something comical? I got this letter about termination at 3:53 on June 28th, 2017. The date was 71 numerology. 353 is the 71st prime. In the video that was flagged last week, it was again about the Roanoke, Virginia shooting hoax, the camera crew, live on TV, Vester Flanagan. And in that video, I talked about the Pope and the Catholic Church and the ritual that was part of that shooting hoax. You know, then a week later, the whole channel taken down over the Sandy Hook video by the numbers. And also, on my backup channel, they ended up flagging me for the same video. Same video, August 26, 2015, Roanoke shooting hoax, and how it connects to Pope Francis' upcoming visit. Got me on my main channel and my backup channel. For some reason, they really don't like this video. But check this out. From the date the video was uploaded, the date of the incident, to the date they took it down, exactly 96 weeks. Remember, Freemason, 96, special number. Earlier this year, on the 74th day of the year, Masonic 74, the Ides of March, all of my online accounts hacked. You know? Also last year, Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas Eve, the channel Montegraph, who's been harassing people online for speaking truth since YouTube began, he put up a video putting out a threat for me for Christmas Eve. Then lo and behold, my house was crashed into by a car. Something that's never happened before. Most peculiar time, Christmas Eve. And And you might recall I put up a video exposing that, and YouTube gave me a strike, deleted the video for exposing Montegraph. I played the clip of him threatening me for Christmas Eve, and I said, what are the odds of that? This channel that's known for threatening people online who speak truth threatens me for Christmas Eve, and then a car crashes into my house. Then he put up another video talking about me and a dead squirrel, and a dead squirrel showed up on my property. For exposing that, YouTube struck me. You know, he's been here all these years harassing people, sending people dead animals in the mail, doing things like what has been done to me, being a conspirator in that. YouTube doesn't give him any strikes. His channel's always in good standing. But, you know, just for me saying, hey, people, look at what's going on here, YouTube struck that video. So it's not hard to see what's going on. I'm just telling you guys all this in case you don't know, just so you see the build up to this. But what's a trip is from Christmas Eve to the channel being destroyed is 187 days. And where do we know that number from? Homicide code. I've been getting these threats in the mail about how I'm, dead meat. My 33rd birthday will be my last. Perhaps the threats were for my YouTube channel. This happened 24 days before my 34th birthday. And of course, 187 is also the source code of Gematria, what I teach. Gematria, part of Kabbalah, the Jewish mysticism that God created the world with language, that's based in the Torah, which is 187 chapters. Huge number to Scottish Rite Freemasonry, the nation's capital, 187. If you missed my work on 187, it's all on the backup channel. That's the good news, and it's still up on my blog. And when the book comes out, you're going to have it right in your hands, and nobody can take that from you. Well, unless they come into your house in the night like a thief when you're not there, which is something else I had happen to me November 15th, 2014. All in the time of speaking out. So anyway, Truth Seeker, the point is, all isn't lost, all is still here, the mission goes on, things are only going to get better, the research is only going to get better, the message is only going to get out there more. YouTube and the internet censoring all these people speaking out, that's going to raise awareness. That might even cause people to wake up more, eventually. Every time the powers that shouldn't be, make their moves, it wakes up more people. That's the way this world is, dualistic. There's a good and bad to everything. So, I'm using this incident to motivate me to get my book out even faster. Should have been out a long time ago, but again, I'm writing it really well. I'm taking the time that is necessary. It's getting the due diligence. But when the book comes out, this is the plan. This is the mission. I'm calling it the 2020 mission. From the time I get the book out until the time of 2020, and time of the next presidential election, I want to be traveling and speaking out nonstop. As much as possible. Getting to cities all over this nation, possibly all over this world, because this agenda is going on all over and the people of the world need to know. And I want to be able to travel this world, share this book, get it to people as cheaply as possible so that the knowledge can spread. That's the mission. So, here's the game plan. I've created a GoFundMe, and this might be a mistake because, to remind you, in 2015, I created a GoFundMe for the first time ever. And the purpose of the GoFundMe was to travel to Oklahoma State University, where a PSYOP had just been done on their campus, a school that was no stranger to PSYOPs, and I wanted to go there and educate about this history of scaring people by the numbers. And I said the mission is to educate the youth at that campus, and then we could travel to other universities where similar things have happened and possibly start Gematria Club, on a campus and hope that it grows, hope that the word spreads. So I wanted to do that in 2015. I started a GoFundMe. The first day, this is back when I had like 5,000 subscribers. The first day, I raised an ample amount of money. The day wasn't even over. I'd raised nearly $800. And the goal was $2,500. I said if I got $2,500, that could pay for me to fly down to Oklahoma State, stay there for at least a week, speak there, go around the campus, pass out flyers, do interviews on the street, just try to start something, to get something happening. Awareness of what just took place in that community with the local people. And also we were talking about how the Masonic Lodge right around the corner had the numbers on it that were in accordance with the hoax, something we've seen a number of other times. So part of that mission was also to confront the local Freemasons to see if anyone wanted to spill the beans. What happened? That day, my YouTube account was frozen, my Facebook was frozen, I had to submit a photo ID and I forget what else to Facebook to unlock my account. The GoFundMe was frozen. I was like, wow, somebody in the world really doesn't want me to do this. All my online accounts have been frozen for having this campaign. So what I did was I let everybody know that, perhaps it was too early, maybe we shouldn't do this, so I refunded every donation. Every single person got their money back, complete refund. And I said, we'll reevaluate. We'll reevaluate. Maybe this isn't the right time for this. Maybe this will be a suicide mission. So, then what happened? More than a year went by, grinding, putting out blog posts, videos, day after day, putting out the education, the knowledge. Got another strike somewhere late summer, last fall, more censorship nonsense, and it put me on a rant. And I said, this internet platform, it doesn't work. We got to figure out how to create our own space online. We have to figure out how to organize. That's when I began the All for Truth campaign. The All for Truth campaign to build the website, to unite the truth seekers, to organize in communities. The website was built, but then that entire team sold me out and turned against me on the same day that all of my accounts were hacked this year, on the 74th day of the year. And then it looked like that those men who helped me out were actually just part of the deception. So anyway, the good news is there's a lot of money saved from that earlier fundraiser. I've now started this campaign to raise more money. What's going to happen is, as soon as the book's out, I'm going to again try to build the All for Truth website, but do it the right way this time. And make sure I have, control over it, so the same thing can't happen that happened before. I gave the other men too much trust last time. I thought they were legitimate, honest. I was wrong. But the good news is we only wasted a little bit of money on that project. We still have the majority of the money raised. It's going to be used for that. It's saved. It's set aside right now. Put in a savings account. It's earning pennies on the dollar in interest. But anyway, that money's still there. That mission's going to be accomplished. It's coming right after the book's finished. Then, what I want to do is find out who's out there who wants to help raise more money so that we can take this mission to the next level. What I'm envisioning with more raised money is being able to rent venues, put out a schedule, a confirmed schedule because money's paid, the place is rented, we have it for sure, and I can invite people to show up and hopefully rent places where there's at least seating for 500. Talking about big cities. We should be able to get 500 people in big cities. As many subscribers as I had, we should be able to get people to fill the seats. And, we can make it free to attend, recommended donation, but whatever. The point is to raise enough money, to rent the spaces, to make a schedule, to start getting out the awareness, to create community, and to make something happen. This is all about creating an action in the world. And that's only going to happen if people are awake, aware, have a reason, and are organized. So that's what the future is. That's what my future mission is, to get out the knowledge, then to help organize the movement that's actually going to do something. Because I don't see anything in this world that exists right now that has the right mindset or plan, We need to get serious. The time is now. Censorship is upon us. The time for speaking out is slipping away. We have to seize the moment. I have the pressure on me to get the book done right now. anyone who can help support financially, I will be grateful if you can contribute. Understand, anybody who would say that I'm just here to raise money and scam is an idiot. Someone who speaks from their ass. I have lost so much money doing this. I have worked for free for 4 years straight. I don't think you can find anybody in the history of the world who's worked for free for 4 years straight, 7 days a week. The personal amount of money raised for me to date, you know what? The personal amount of money raised for me to date just went up by $2,000. Somebody sent me a check in the mail today. Jason, I didn't know this was coming. I'd never talked to Jason before. Somebody in the world actually sent me a check for $2,000 today. Before today, this entire time I'd been here, I'd raised $4,000 of personal, money for myself. All the other money raised is for the All for Truth campaign, which is still saved. And the money that's been lost on All for Truth, I'm going to replace that out of my own pocket. That was my fault. I trusted the wrong people. I wasted other people's money. I'm going to refund that. But anyway, I'm just saying, to date, the money that I have raised for myself, given to me out of the goodness of other people's hearts, is $4,000. Plus now somebody just sent me a $2,000 check, which blew my mind. So, $6,000 now. And think about that. $6,000, that's very nice, but how many people in this world would sign a contract to work for 4 years straight, on average 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, for a total pay of $6,000? That's $1,500 a year. That's a little more than $100 a month. Are you going to work 70 hours, what is that, 280 hours a month? Are you going to work 280 hours a month for about a little more than $100? What is that, 28 cents? 28 cents an hour? Is that right? I think that's right. So, no, I'm not here for money. I'm not here to scam people. I've just been working trying to make something happen. And I didn't want to have to ask for money for a long time, but I've done this for a long time. Misfortunes come my way. I was ripped off in 2014. I lost everything I had in a very small window just being away from my house, meaning somebody had a watchful eye. But anyway, Truth Seeker, the point is, this campaign, it's about seizing the moment. All the money raised will go towards everything that I'm saying. Getting the website done right. Getting the book tour set up and doing it the right way. At first I was thinking, well, I can get people who will say that I can use the space, and I was thinking about just doing it that way. Low budget, but you know what? That's the way it might not end up working. When you do things that way, next thing you know, all of a sudden the space that was there for you, it's not available for you. There's something more pertinent that takes place. So that's why I want to make sure. Set up a tour, reserve spaces to speak at, get the tour out there, let people know when and where it's happening. Make something happen in this world. The knowledge that I'm teaching, the knowledge that I'm putting out, something that no one knew about in this world before. This is knowledge everyone needs to know. The work I'm doing is important. If you don't think the work I'm doing is important, I don't know why you're here. I don't know why I have so many critics that hang around like flies all the time. It doesn't make sense. If you can't see the value of my work, that's on you. But for all of the people who understand what I'm saying, who want to be a part of this, please, if you can, whatever you can spare, I appreciate the donations. I just put this up last night. I did this as a response to having my Google accounts deleted. What I was thinking is, like I just said, the time is now. I got to find out there who's down for the cause, who wants to support, who wants to get this show on the road. And if there are people out there who have access to venues, who are in cities, who could get a floor space for me to speak at, preferably at least a few hundred people, I'm thinking if I go to cities, big cities, should at least be able to get a few hundred people there. But at the same time, I should think about what I've seen in this world. I'm thinking back to the mid-2000s, the last time I saw Ralph Nader speak. He was speaking downtown or actually, I see him in Portland and Seattle whenever he's up here. I think the last time I saw him was in Portland. It was either Portland or Seattle at a church. But no matter where it was, that time I remember how irritated he was at the beginning. Couldn't believe how many open seats there were. He just started with a rant about this is what's wrong with the world. You know? And Ralph Nader is somebody who's earned attention. You know, he's done a lot of good in this world. And even for him, hard to get people to come out to the church that probably sat 500. Maybe there were 300 people there that day. But that's how his whole presentation began. So discouraged by how few people were there. So anyway, Truth Seeker, this is the mission, this is the campaign, this is the time. This isn't about a scam, this is about action. That's why I've dedicated the last 4 years of my life to this. The powers that shouldn't be, they know I'm a threat. It's no coincidence they sabotage my Google accounts in the time I'm finishing my book. Of course, they don't want me to be able to promote the book on, platforms where I have such a large subscriber base. So the mission continues on. Thank you everyone for the donations. Today, the universe, it's such a funny thing. Yesterday, the account deleted. Today, I actually got 3 packages in the mail, 2 letters in a package. One was a surprise check for $2,000. Again, thank you, Jason. Jason wrote me a long letter in cursive, and at the end said it was the first time in forever that he wrote in cursive, but he felt like it. In addition to sending out $2,000. Very generous. And also, I got a third letter that had a $50 bill in it from a man who learned to gamble off of this knowledge, and he's written and he said he's earned more from this knowledge than ever before. This gematria, it's put him over the top. It's not a perfect system, but it's helped him win a lot more, and a number of people have also said that. This man who sent the letter, he sent me a number of letters now with a $50 bill in it or $75. And every time I said, man, you've sent enough. Thank you so much. But every time he says, well, if I stopped sharing, it would ruin all the fun. So he's that kind of person. He's a giver. And, for all the people who say I'm a scammer and taker, these are people who don't know what a giver is. You've never seen anybody in your life, ever, probably not even your own parent, go out of their way and just work nonstop for you for nothing as I have. You show me the person in this world who's worked for 4 years straight, nonstop, hours a day, grinding blog videos, pumping out knowledge to put everyone further ahead, and not ask for a penny. Never put a commercial on anything. Never put an ad on anything. The money for this campaign, I want it to come from people who want to be part of the cause, not from ads that help the tyrants, the powers that shouldn't be, selling their filth products, their filth movies. And by the way, Truth Seeker, that's my girlfriend. She'll definitely be with me on the book tour when it happens, Can meet her, sweet lady. She's a big part of the reason that I discovered this whole gematria thing. It was her who all of a sudden really wanted me to read the Bible. And just looking at everything at once, reading the Bible, all the numbers, what was going on in the news, the things I'd been looking at for all of my adult life, it just led to gematria. So, looking forward to it, Truth Seeker. Don't be down about the channel being deleted. Coming back stronger than ever. If you go to your Zachary K. Hubbard and it says, this account has been terminated for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Again, the videos that were struck, to bring it down were a video exposing Montegraph for threatening me. Amazingly, I got struck for that. The person who made the threats against me, and YouTube didn't care about that. The other video struck was for exposing the Grenfell Tower fire. Then also the Pope Francis connection to the Roanoke shooting from 2015, camera crew shooting. And now the Sandy Hook, the final one. So just do a search for Free to Find Truth. I'm going to link it down below. This is the channel to subscribe to, but it probably won't be here for long. This has all the same videos that they just took down the other channel for. So free to find truth, truth seeker. And maybe if you're at it and you want to let these corporations that control the outlets where people speak today, such as YouTube, such as blogs, if you want to let your voice be heard, maybe send a letter to Google. Say you don't appreciate the censorship. There's been a lot of channels taken down in the last week, last 2 weeks. And look at who's still standing. All the big shill channels with the donations. You know, the donate button. I never had that on my profile, never ever, because you have to monetize your channel to do that. And I didn't want people to have to watch ads. They make you monetize your channel to put up the donate button. And maybe I should have took it as a sign about a month ago when all of a sudden on my homepage there was a banner that said, "Your channel is now approved for monetization." I wonder if I would have monetized if they would have let the channel stay up. They probably would have, because then I would have been, supporting them with their ads. All right, truth seekers, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Don't be down. We're only going up from here. Please donate if you can. Until next time. Encore. One more thank you, or maybe a few more. I said I got 2 letters in a package. The package was this: the book A Nation of Sheep, written in 1961. That book begins with holding the reader accountable. Also, about the title, I just want to say for my critics who are sure to flood the comments, if you think I'm a shill, you truly are a sheep, and you don't know what the meaning of shill is. A shill is someone who's meant to take somebody and give them some truth, but ultimately lead them astray. You could go through all of my work, show me where any of it leads you astray. Everything's been right on point since the beginning. I'm here to show people that we're being deceived, we're being lied to, and it's being done by the numbers, and by learning the numerical code, you can see through the lies in real time. There's nothing deceptive about it. Anybody who's ever applied the knowledge has seen the truth and been grateful for it. So for all of my critics, you're either on the wrong side, which I know most of you are, hiding behind the keyboard, or you're not using your brain. Not at all. Maybe this book, worth reading. Also, again, thank you to everyone who has ever donated. There's been a lot of great donations, whether you've given $1 or $500 in the past. It's all appreciated. If everyone would just contribute $1, that would be enough. So thank you again, truth seekers. The mission's going nowhere but up. Until next time.